Okay, so we're going to do a quick fusion mock-up of our Tic Tac Toe game that we're going to cut out of acrylic, and so I'm going to walk you through the process of doing that. So I've opened up Fusion there. We've got a new blank canvas to work from. So the first part that we're going to do is create a new sketch. So we're going to create a new sketch. I'm going to click on the XY plane, select that, go up to the 2-point rectangle, start a point in their origin, which is a click, drag it out, and then we need to type in the units of 100 by 100 millimeters. Once we've done that, and we've got our sketch of 100 by 100, click on Finish Sketch, and that is our first sketch that we need. So this is going to be, I'm going to rename this just to make life a little bit easier. So this is going to be our base. I'm going to then hide that. So I'm going to turn off the visibility. I'm going to create a new sketch again, and then click on the base again on the XY plane. Again, selecting my 2-point rectangle, I'm going to click from my origin and make that 100 by 100. And I'm pressing tab to jump between those two dimensions. And then when I get them right, I'm pressing enter. So I've got my bases there. We're now going to make the grids that the X, noughts and the crosses are going to sit into. So we need to have 6 lines vertically and 6 lines horizontally in our space. So I'm going to select the line tool, or L on the keyboard, and I'm going to draw 6 lines that are going vertically. Now, key thing here is to make sure that that little blue square is at the top, or the angle is at 90 degrees. We also don't want to have, so making sure that that's at 90, we're getting a little thing there. In the middle here, you can see a triangle when I mouse over that. That means that that's the midpoint of the 100mm line. We don't want to join to that point. So make sure that you go either side of the midpoint. So I'm going to do 3 lines on one side of that midpoint and 3 lines on the other. And it doesn't matter whether you drag from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom. All that matters is that your lines are straight up and down. So we've got 6 lines there now. Our next step is to pick the dimension tool. So that is that one there, looks like the high jump bar. Click on that, and then we're going to start dimensioning these. So I'm going to, from the first line there, so I clicked on that line, and then I click on our border, and we want to make that 5mm. So go 5 and then press enter. And then we're going to do the one on the other side. So click on that line there, then click on the border, and once up the top, and make that 5. And then we're going to do the ones in the middle here. So that one there and that one there are going to be 26.67. I almost messed that up. The line between those two is going to be 5. And the line on the other side is going to be 5. Now we just need one more to make sure that these are all across. So we're going to grab that one to there, and that is going to be 26.67. And the last one, which will be a driven dimension, will come up, and this box will come up. Just click on the create driven, and basically what it means is that the sketch is already all constrained. We actually don't need that one there, but it puts it in the brackets there just to let you know what it is. Okay, so now we've done the first, all the vertical lines. Let's do the 6 horizontal lines and follow the same process. So we're going from side to side. We know that there's going to be 5 across there. Again, making sure that we get that little blue square to represent our angle of the perpendicular. So we're going to do one there. We're going to do another one across here, and another one then here. So that's 3. That's 4 actually. 5 and 6. And pick your dimension tool. And again, top to the bottom there, we need that to be 5. And that one there to there, we need that to be 5. And that one to that one, we need to be 26.67. And that one there to that one there is 26.67. And then we've got between these two is 5. And this one to this one is 5. And we've all locked in. Once we've got our grid, the laser cutter is going to, when it cuts this out, will cut wherever these lines are. So if we do that, we're just going to end up with a heap of little boxes, which we don't want. So we need to get rid of some of these. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can try and see it. We're going to use the scissors at the top here, which is called the trim tool. And we're going to select those, and we need to trim away the little bits of line that are breaking up the other lines. Now, sometimes you get these here. They are the leftover or the dimension legs, so don't worry about those too much. And as you mouse over that, you should see that the lines become red where you're going to trim. So we're going to go around the outside like that, and we're going to delete those little segments. And you can see that's starting to come effect. Okay, so we've done the outside. Now we're going to do the inside part, so we need to get rid of those. Like this. We're going to go all the way across here. Like that. And we're going to go across this way. And then we're going to do the ones going up and down. So what we're going to end up with is 9 little boxes, little squares, and they're going to be inside the border of our shape. And I think we've got them all. So there we go. We're going to do that. We can hide those little symbols that are everywhere. If you want to see that without those, you can go down here and just turn off that constraints click box there. So that'll hide all those constraints. That's what they were. And you can see that that's what we want. So if I hide the dimensions as well, just to make sure we haven't missed anything, you can see that their shape in blue is what we want to achieve. So we don't want to have any little lines through there. So that's your second step. Once you've done all of that, I want you to click on Finish Sketch. This becomes our next one. So we're going to then go, I'll rename this one, and let's call this the grid. Okay, the last one that we're going to do is we need to create the noughts and the crosses. So we're going to go Create Sketch. Again, choose the XY. This time we're going to choose the circle tool, and we're going to draw a circle, and I think it was 24 millimeters in diameter from memory. And if it's slightly different than that on the plans, then adjust that accordingly. And then we're going to do another little circle inside of that, and I think this one was 10. And then we need to draw the cross. So basically there's a couple of ways we can do that. Let's just go with the line tool, and I'm just going to rough that out. So you don't have to panic about it being too exact at this point. So don't worry about the dimensions. What you need to worry about is trying to keep all your sides to 90 degrees. So let's go like this. All we're going to do is just basically, you can see the little blue squares coming up and those little letter T's. We're just going to draw a shape and try and keep that as close as we can to our shape like that. Now you can see on the last one there, I haven't got a 90 degree in there. So to fix it up, what we can do is we can add a constraint to that. We want what's called the perpendicular constraint. That'll constrain two things at a 90 degrees. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to click on that line and that line. And you can see now it's snapped it all together. The sides of our cross aren't even, but we can change all that. So what we're going to do is let's make sure that the distance between this one and this one here are 5. The distance between that to that are 5. And same thing, so we're working our way around our shape and back to there and there. And then I think we had the distance in some of these is 11.5. So I'm going to grab that and that, bring that up, and this is 11.5. Press enter. And then the distance between this line to the end of that is also 11.5. And then the distance between this line to this line is 11.5. And from there to there is 11.5. We can create a driven, that's okay. So far we've done the vertical constraint. So now we're going to do the horizontal one. So we're going to go from there to the horizontal and bring it out this way, 11.5. And there is a couple of other ways we can do this, but I'm just going to try and keep this just all with numbers to make life a little bit easier. and go from there. You can do things like mirror lines, and you can make things equal. And this should give us a driven dimension because we've done everything else. There's our cross, as easy as that. Once you've done that, hit finish sketch, and then go to, we can save that, and let's rename that and call it NOU0. That'll do. Okay, that is the 3 sketches that you need to do. So 3 different items on 3 different sketches. Make sure that you don't have more than 1 sketch per thing, otherwise it won't work properly. Once you've done that, you then need to go to each one of these, click on it, and then go export DXF. And then when this button comes up, this menu, make sure that these are all ticked, click OK, and then save this to your computer. And then that's what you need to put onto the USB and take across to the laser cutter. And that's it. That's the process for creating our noughts and crosses game. If we start to layer that up and turn all our sketches on, you can see that they will our noughts and our cross should fit within those spaces. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that works out. We'll see you in the laser cutter room. Cheers for now.